You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 475 for Sunday, the 15th of October, 2023.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Janie.
Hello there, Michelle. I see from your Instagram you're getting all autumnal with your clothing recently.
Oh, I twinned today.
You twinned? Wow.
Yeah. One of the ladies I work with and I both wore our pumpkin dresses, so we're getting very autumnal and having lots of pumpkin spice coffee, and I'm going to have to make some pumpkin pie at some point and do all sorts of autumnal things, because it's that season where you just want to sort of get into the pre-Christmas chillax vibes of this season. Although we did have a pretty sensational day over here in the UK today, weather-wise.
Well, yeah, we've had some nice days, although I have to say, I go out for my early morning walk, and today was, on the day we're recording, was the first day I've gone out and gone, oh, it's a little bit on the chilly side, to the point that when I walked back through the door when we got home, my glasses steamed up.
Oh.
So, and my hands have got that lovely sort of blue colour. And you know when you try and like do buttons up and things like that, and it really hurts because your hands are like frozen into one position. That's how I was at about 8:30 this morning.
Did you have to wear your big coat?
No, I have a gilet. So I was wearing my gilet instead. But it was like the first one I thought, oh, yeah, maybe we have entered autumn now. We had that little blip at the weekend when we had some nice weather. Maybe we're back to what it should be now.
Sounds a fantastic plan, thinking forward. Nice little bit of autumnal vibes going on. I have got my log burner all ready for some log burning nights where I can be all snug in front of the fire. It's very exciting. You know, when the chimney sweeper's been and he's swept the house chimney, I can start burning logs again.
Nice.
So cozy.
Yeah, proper snuggling down for the cold season.
Hunkering down, Jane.
I have got my pumpkin lights out though.
Oh, that's nice.
So I'm getting there with the seasonal vibes.
I've got to find my pumpkins. That's a good point. Where are my pumpkins? Message to husband. Anyway, before we digress down another plug hole and we completely go off tangent completely, how about hopping over to you, Janie, for a little bit of history?
Yeah, I'm going to spread these out. I've got three. The first one is for the 14th of October. And I had to mention this one because this is to do with Duffy. And I know how much you love Duffy. So this is when he made his grand entrance with Mickey Mouse at Epcot for the first time. Now, I'm not a Duffy aficionado like your good self. So I hadn't realised that he was supposedly first hand-sewn by Minnie Mouse to give as a gift to Mickey, dressed as a sailor, and he was there to be Mickey's companion during his travels. I think you might have told me that at some point, but it's obviously not really resonated with me because I don't tend to go for Duffy like you do. So there you go.
Yeah, I must admit I remember meeting Duffy in his sailor suit at DCA in California. I think on the first trip I went over there, going back to, must have been 2014. So wow.
Yeah, a long while ago, isn't it? So we're going to then move forward to the 15th of October. And the 15th and 16th of October are going to get mentioned here, both in the same year, because they actually feed into one another. So 15th of October, 1923, Walt Disney got a telegram from an M.J. Winkler. Now, M.J. Winkler was the first woman to actually produce and distribute animated films. And she got in touch wanting to pay him $1,500 each for the first of his 6 Alice comedies. So, that happened on the 15th. On the 16th was when the Disney Brothers Studio was founded. That became about, obviously, because they got this contract to produce these cartoons, these animated shorts. So at that point, they were on Kingswell Avenue in Los Angeles, in the back of a realty office. So not very grand beginnings, But by February the following year, they were actually able to move into the building next door and take over the whole first floor. So, yeah, 16th of October 1923, we should know that date, is kind of when it all began.
From a tiny acorn, a mighty oak that saps every bit of goodness around it grew.
Absolutely. And we wouldn't be here chatting today, would we, Michelle, if it wasn't for good old Disney?
I have been incredibly blessed with the friends that I have met through just having these simple chats about the world of Walt Disney.
Absolutely.
Is that your lot then?
That's my lot for this week, yeah.
All right. Shall we start being fairly positive?
I always try to be positive,
Because I have been literally hitting refresh on the Walt Disney website for the past 3.5 weeks, because normally the candlelight processional narrators are announced in September.
Yes.
So I've been keeping a very close eye because I am having this trip in December and I wanted to make sure that, as last year, my narrator during the time I'm in Walt Disney World was going to be Neil Patrick Harris. Because I know my friend Janie would want me to live stream it for her.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They didn't publish, they didn't publish, and then they published with a boo-boo, but they published.
Right.
So this year's Festival of the Holidays Candlelight Processional narrators are as follows. Starting 24th of November to the 25th, Chrissy Metz, a brand new narrator. Next one, Luis Fonsi, a new narrator, 26th to the 27th. Anne Magrette, 28th to 29th. And Simu Leo, 30th of November.
Okay.
So, few people that you might have heard of there, few people you might not have.
Yeah, 50-50.
Again, as I said, we've got Simu Leo, who's going to be also going through till the 2nd of December. John Stamos, 3rd to the 5th. The first person out of that list I've actually heard of.
Really?
Yeah, I need to watch some more sort of High School Musical and all that malarkey, really, don't I? John Stamos, as I said, 3rd to the 5th. Neil Patrick Harris is deserting me. How dare you, NPH?
Yeah, it's early this year, isn't he?
6th to the 8th.
Misses my birthday by one day.
I'm not talking to him. He needs to come when I'm there. Marley Matlin, 9th to the 11th of December. Brendan Fraser, which I know is going to be a big hot ticket for a lot of people, 12th to the 14th. Eva Longoria, 15th to the 16th. And if you watch Desperate Housewives like I did, she's someone you've known through that. Joey McIntyre, 17th to the 18th. Sterling K. Brown, 19th to the 20th. Jordan Fisher, 21st to the 23rd. Stephen Curtis Chapman, 24th to the 26th, so he's getting the Christmas do. Audra McDonald, 27th to 28th, and ending the season, Lisa Ling, 29th to the 30th.
Yeah, I have to admit, there's quite a few names this year that I'm not overtly familiar with.
Quite a few. I think it's easy for me to say I've probably heard of 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, whereas I think normally, you know, we had the Edward Olmoses and people like that, don't you? It's kind of, there's a few noticeable misses, I think.
No Osmonds, no Whoopi.
No.
There's quite a lot of new people this year. And from doing a little bit of research, you know, maybe if I watch Strictly USA or maybe if I watch one of their talent shows, I might have heard of some of these people. I know on other podcasts, people are raving on about some of these names and I'm like, who are you? I have no idea. I don't know who you are.
I must admit, when I did see the list and knowing when you were going, I was Googling to figure out who people were for the duration of your little stay.
So I have a dash chain. I land at MCO at 3:25 on the Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
I need to get my behind all the way over to the America Gardens Theatre at Epcot for the last showing of Eva Longoria at 8:30 p.m. so I can, catch that, because
Wow.
she's the one person I've heard of during the time I am there.
Okay. Let's keep fingers and toes crossed, Michelle, that all goodness is flowing in your right direction and that you managed to do that.
Well, there's no point me booking a dining plan because I won't have time to eat the
No.
meal and get to see either. I could maybe get to Epcot by about 6 and see if there's any of the quick service type ones
Still
left,
available.
but it's
Yeah.
doubtful because it's a Saturday night.
Yeah, and she is, I would say, even for if we take into account that the other names we don't particularly know because they're not UK names, but she's still a high up there, high profile name, isn't she?
So that's the Festival of the Holidays. And while we're talking about holidays, Run Disney have announced they're going to do some more in the season of virtual races. And this time it's the virtual 12Ks of Christmas.
12Ks of Christmas, I like that. I've not heard about this.
The 12Ks of Christmas, my true love sent to me. Something along that, if you've done anything
like that.
But what I think is super cute this year are the medals actually double up as those ear hat ornaments.
Oh, fab.
So you're getting a twofer, and I love a good twofer.
Well, yeah, we like things that come almost like, buy one, get one free, isn't it?
Yeah. So you have 3 4K races and a challenge. And if you wish to subscribe to the whole package, $267.
Wow. That's a nice Christmas present to yourself.
I wonder if any of our listeners are going to be doing that. There's a Mickey, Donald and Goofy 4K, a Minnie and Daisy 4K, a Pluto 4K. He's all on his own, poor little lad.
Oh.
Poor little lad. And they look super cute. And when you bear in mind these ear hat ornaments are about $30 anyway. So that's like $120 worth of goodiness.
Yeah.
So then on top of that, it's about $140 for all the admin, and then the long-sleeved hooded shirt you get, the Corksicle mug and cocoa kit, the Race Babe finisher's certificate, digital race toolkit featuring printable mile markers. So when you've got all of that sorted, for some people you might be able to sort of think, well, actually there's value for me. I'm not going to be able to make a Walt Disney World trip this year to buy my own little ear hat ornaments, but maybe this is something that'll spur me on to do some 4K races.
Maybe, yeah.
Let us know. 49 days to the kick-off, 1st of December.
Can I walk them, not run them?
If you want. And tell you what, Jane, you can walk them, not run them, not pay for it, and do it for free, and I'll give you a hug and a hot chocolate.
Oh, thanks, Shell.
Yeah, it's all about the giving. All about the giving. Right, my love, we have talked a little bit about some good stuff. We have talked about candlelight. Whoop, whoop, it's back. Let's enjoy it. We have talked about virtual races for our runners out there. Curious to see if anyone is going to participate. We did get a little bit of a blitz in with regards to some price increases, and I think you have the info for us, Jane, on the theme park tickets, annual passes and car parks.
Yeah, so it varies across both Disney World and Disneyland. So car parking at both resorts is jumping up. So over at Disney World, it's jumping from 25 to 30. That's your base level. There are other rates depending on different types of cars, etc., and preferred parking. But your base rate is going to go from 25 to 30. Over at Disneyland, they've got a $5 increase as well, and theirs is going to now go up to $35. You might want to take advantage of your complimentary parking at your resort and rely on good old Disney transportation to save yourself a few dollars at the car parks. Yeah, I think we all know, and as we kind of alluded to with the history, October is the beginning of a new financial year for Disney, and these price increases that we're seeing that got announced this week tend to get announced at this sort of time of year, so they are the expected ones, I suppose. Doesn't make them any easier to bear, but they are kind of the expected ones. But yeah, so at Disney World annual passes are increasing. It depends on which level, depends on how much you're going to be paying, but you've got increases of between $30 and $50. For example, if you're going to buy a brand new annual pass and you're going to go for the top tier, which if you're not a Florida resident, you're going to have to go for the Incredipass. That's now gone up to $1,449. If you're renewing your Incredipass, it's a little bit cheaper at $1,229. Yeah, we've got Sorcerer Pass, brand newbie is $999. Pirate Pass is now $799, and your Pixie Dust is $439. So big chunks of increases there. And likewise over at Disneyland, their Magic Key Passes, they've also gone up as well. And these go up anywhere between 50 to 150, depending on the type that you're going for. So just quick rundown. The Inspire, which is the top level, is now 1,649. That's up 50. The Believe is 1,249. That's up 150. Enchant is 849, also up 150, and Imagine at 499 with a $50 increase. At Disneyland, you've also got the knock-on effect on their single-day and multi-day tickets. So the single-day tickets are now, they're based on a tier system, which I'm sure you understand way better than I do, Shell. These now start from $104, going all the way up to $194. It used to be capped at $179, so that top rate is now $194. And your multi-day tickets have gone up 16%. They were between $285 and $415. They now start at $310 and go all the way up to $480.
You know, you can sort of say, well, it's inflation. It happens all the time. Prices do go up at this time of year, and it is a bit cruddy. We don't like it, but unfortunately,
I think it's the way of the world, isn't it, at the moment? I was only talking to somebody a couple of days ago, and we were talking about a very small retail outlet in a village close by to me, where a lady's had to call it a day on her little shop. She's been going for about 7 or 8 years. The last 18 months is just, cost of living. It's hit her, and she's having to close a business. So, you can only extrapolate those sorts of experiences up the food chain, so to speak, to it, and even the bigger corporations are feeling it. And we all know Disney ain't doing brilliantly at the moment when you look at the share price. So they've got to try and get the money somewhere.
True. And it doesn't get much better though, does it, Jane? Because we're noticing prices going up on an assortment of things. And a lot of people like myself do like to have a little bit of a splurge when they're in Walt Disney World or Disneyland, where you can go and find some backstage secrets, some information, get yourself a bit closer to the secrets of the parks. Well, Disney's Keys to the Kingdom tour at Magic Kingdom has risen. It previously was $114 per person. It's now got that pricing range where it could be as cheap as $109.95, but it could also be up to $149. The Wilderness Back Trail Adventure Tour, that's that Segway one I've done before.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to have a price of between $90 and $99. Slight increase there. The Epcot tours. So you have got, do you remember Living with the Land tour, the behind the scenes one?
Yes.
I remember paying $15 for it.
Wow.
It has now gone from $35 to $39 to $45, depending on when you go.
So lots of these different price ranges coming in, isn't there?
Yeah. The Dive Quest, where you can go and swim in the living seas, that's gone from $229 to $245, where it's sort of like a floating price. Previously it was $219. And then the last one over at the seas is Dolphins in Depth, and that's gone up $10 to $199. But it doesn't stop there. Animal Kingdom has got their tours. So Save of the Savannah, which is the one where you go and have that delicious meal and get lots of views on the savannah. It's gone from $160.65 to $199. So it's that surge pricing from a previous price of $174. Whereas the Wild Africa Trek, which is the one where you go and you're harnessed and you go over the crocodile pit and all of that, which I've done before. It was previously $199. It now raises from $219 to $229.
Yeah, so lots of these little bands coming in, isn't it? To so if you're having to go at the most expensive time of the year, you can guarantee you're gonna have to pay the most expensive prices for these tours, aren't you?
Completely. Caring for Giants and Up Close with Rhinos have both increased by $4 and they are $39 and $49 respectively.
Yeah, it's happening all over.
It is indeedy, and let's just finish it all off with food.
Mm,
So it's hit everywhere, Janie, and the thing that staggered me the most with the price raises, some of them are like 20 cents, some of them are going a few dollars.
yeah.
$6.50 for a Mickey premium ice cream or a Mickey ice cream sandwich.
Yeah,
$6.50.
I saw that one as well, and it's like, wow.
Are we thinking before the end of the 2020s they will be $10 a go?
Well, if everything go continues the way it has been doing, it's going to have to be, isn't it? Because it's like if it's, I mean, how much has that gone up this time around? Probably what 40, $50 dollars 40, 50 cents, is it?
Yeah.
You know, it's yeah. If that happens every time, it's not going to take long to get up to that mark, is it?
No, it's quite staggering when you sort of think of that. And when you start digging down deeper at some of the prices, bear in mind that some people will have booked a restaurant expecting it to cost X amount of money. And they're sort of now thinking, oh, actually, it's not going to be that now. It's going to be a little bit more money. You know, for example, one place I was considering going to was Chippendale's Harvest Feast at the Garden Grill.
Okay.
It's gone up to $62 for adults for that meal. And I'm now sort of thinking, will I get value for me at $62? And do you know what? I think I would probably invest my money to get an Uber, go off property and get a really good steak somewhere else.
Yeah, and it's going to be that thing. I mean, sometimes you can look at these price increases and go, "Oh yeah, well, insert name restaurant, it's only gone up $3 or $4." But most of us don't travel alone. Most of us are in a family group, or a minimum there's a couple of you, and it's not just the $4 or $5 for you. It's the $4 or $5 for whoever else is with you as well. So, and it's that sort of impact. I always think, it can be easy to dismiss a price increase per person. But most people have to factor it in per family or per group or couple that's visiting, and it can make a big difference.
It can indeed. One thing that I am sort of still bothered by, every time I look at the reviews for Be Our Guest restaurants at the Magic Kingdom, I'm seeing complaint after complaint. It's not getting the greatest of reviews.
Right.
But they're still insistent on that fixed price menu. And I really think bring back the quick serve lunch.
Yeah, it's such a shame that they took that away, isn't it?
Absolutely fabulous value.
But maybe, we are seeing little things coming back. Perhaps, if people keep moaning and groaning about these things, perhaps we will get a little bit of leeway with stuff. Who knows?
Not everybody can afford $70 plus
No.
for a meal. And I personally loved going to that quick serve. You got a taster of the fantastic environment. You got a reasonable, nice sit-down hot meal with refillable beverages. It was a good deal for me. I'd probably be able to get something really filling for $20, and jobs are good. And, I was happy as Larry at that.
Yeah, and like you say, Charlotte, it was a nice way for people who couldn't afford the dinner menu prices, and never mind the increase that's happened now. A chance to go into that building and have a look round and experience it without the price tag.
Completely agree. So I'm keeping all positively crossed that Disney, please listen to our little bit of a plea. I know you're a business. I know your aim is to earn money for yourselves and for your shareholders. But ultimately, if you continue to annoy the people that are going, there will be a bite back. And at some point, people will just say, do you know what? Instead of going every year, I might have to now go every 3 years because I just cannot physically manage it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a catch-22, isn't it? Because like you've just said, Michelle, it's that thing of like, fine, we all appreciate that prices have to go up, cost of living, etc., etc. But if you outprice yourselves, then there's no point putting those prices up because you won't have people there to pay the prices, and there's not enough of, an ultra rich class of people to keep their parks going. They have to, which is what Walt wanted to do. He wanted to have parks that were there for everybody, and pricing them out for people is not what was about. It was about having that environment that everybody, no matter what your background was, you could go along there and have an enjoyable day and spend as much or as little as you wanted, but not be feeling forced into having to pick whether you go or not, which I think is for some people is how it's turning into at the moment.
It is indeed. But let's just remember the fact that there are ways to do Disney on a budget where you don't actually have to buy any food in a theme park. There are those corners that you can cut, If you don't want to get a resort mug but you have a coffee machine in your room, well, that coffee machine can also get hot water. That hot water can make those little cereals, the Quaker Oats type thing where you can make your porridge, or you can get your own milk from a place like Walmart or Garden Grocer delivered to the resort. You can take your own snacks if you're coming from England, USA. So there are ways where you can make it more affordable. You can go and have a Walmart trip and buy in snacks to take into the park with you. I know I frequently do that to sort of deal with my hunger pangs, midday type thing. Go out of the theme park and go to the resorts, because at the resorts the food is better quality and better value in my opinion as well.
Yeah.
Adults, you don't have to have an adult meal. You can have a kids meal at a counter service,
Yeah.
These are all the things. If you're going to get a Dole Whip, and I hate to mention the share word, but it's getting to the point where I'm going to have to, because there's no option behind it, because it's just getting too darn expensive to spend almost $7 on a Dole Whip.
Yeah, no, I would say it is that element of having to think twice and be mindful of what you're doing and ask yourself, do I really need it? Is there another way around this? If I'm going to have that treat, do I forego something else at another point? Unfortunately.
What splurge do I actually really want to spend on my trip? What is going to make the best time ever for me? And for me personally, I might just go and have one meal at a restaurant, and the rest is going to be, I'll just plod along.
Yeah. And I think this is how it is, unfortunately, now for a good majority of us. It is a case of, if we're going to, stump up the cash just to get there, and to stay, whether you choose to stay on property or off property, is still not cheap. Then factoring in on top, food. It's nice to see the dining plans are coming back next year, and nice to see that for us UK travellers, if you're booking direct with Walt Disney, they are still issuing those gift cards with money for food on. So there are bits and bobs out there, as I know, because Disney keeps sending me emails, so I'm aware of these little offers that they keep trying to entice me in with. So look around, see what deals are out there. What can you make best use of?
Absolutely agreed, 100%. And another way to save money as well is your hydration. It's really important to keep hydrated. I highly recommend getting your water off property, or having a refillable bottle that you go and use. Those water filtered machines that are all over the park, that can save, literally, when you're looking at $5 a bottle of water, that mounts up.
Yeah, definitely.
So those are just a few top tips. If you have any top tips you would like to share on how you can make things a little bit more sort of manageable, please let us know. Get in touch with us at DisDreamGirls on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it this week, or Instagram. Email info@DisneyDreamGirls.com. Don't forget, share our blog, DisneyDreamGirls.com. And if you want to leave us another review, update it a little bit so people all know where we are, I would be really, really grateful. So please do that for us. It will make us really happy and smiley.
Mm-hmm.
But until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.